In the heart of a bustling small town, there was a cozy kitchen that often filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread. It was a place where memories were made, laughter echoed, and the warmth of family gatherings enveloped everyone who stepped inside. One chilly evening, Sarah decided to recreate the beloved Texas Roadhouse dinner rolls that had been a staple at countless family dinners. She had always admired the soft, fluffy texture and the sweet, buttery flavor of these rolls, and with her trusty bread machine at her side, she felt ready to tackle the challenge. As she gathered her ingredients, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia. The last time she had enjoyed those rolls was at a family reunion, where they were served alongside a hearty meal of steak, baked potatoes, and a colorful salad. The rolls had been the highlight, slathered in cinnamon butter, and she could almost taste that sweet combination as she prepared to make her own batch. She pulled out the following ingredients, carefully measuring each one as she went along. 1 cup warm milk, 110 degrees. 1/4 cup granulated sugar. 1/4 cup unsalted butter, melted. 1 large egg. 3. 1/4 cups bread flour. 1 teaspoon salt. 2 1/4 teaspoons active dry yeast or 1 packet. 1/4 cup honey, optional for added sweetness. Extra melted butter for brushing on top. With everything laid out on the counter, Sarah felt a rush of excitement. She knew that the bread machine would simplify the process, but she also cherished the hands-on experience of baking. She began by pouring the warm milk into the bread pan, watching as the steam rose gently. Next, she added the melted butter, letting it swirl into the milk like a golden ribbon. The sugar followed, dissolving quickly in the warmth, and then she cracked the egg, watching it sink into the mixture. As she measured the flour, Sarah took a moment to appreciate its fine texture, reminiscent of the rolling hills of wheat fields that surrounded their town. She added the flour to the pan, creating a soft mound. With careful precision, she sprinkled the salt on one side and the yeast on the other, ensuring they wouldn't come into direct contact until the machine began its work. Finally, she drizzled the honey over the flour, envisioning the sweetness it would add to the rolls. Once everything was in the bread machine, she secured the pan and selected the dough setting. The machine whirred to life, and Sarah felt a sense of anticipation as she watched the ingredients transform into a cohesive dough. The rhythmic kneading was almost hypnotic, and she took this time to reflect on her family's love for good food. Her grandmother had always said that bread was the heart of any meal, and Sarah felt that sentiment deeply as she listened to the machine working its magic. As the dough rose, the kitchen began to fill with a warm, yeasty scent that made her smile. It was a comforting reminder of the many times she had stood by her grandmother's side, learning the art of baking. After about an hour, the machine beeped, indicating that the dough was ready. Sarah opened the lid, revealing a fluffy, risen ball of dough that seemed to beckon her to dive in. She carefully removed the dough from the pan, feeling its soft texture beneath her fingers. It was time for the fun part, shaping the rolls. Sarah divided the dough into equal pieces, each one weighing about an ounce. She rolled each piece into a smooth ball, marveling at how easy it was to work with. As she shaped the rolls, she thought about how they would soon be enjoyed, perhaps with family gathered around the table, sharing stories and laughter. Once all the rolls were shaped, she placed them in a greased baking dish, allowing them to rise again for about 30 minutes. The anticipation built as she watched them puff up, filling the dish with their promise of warmth and flavor. While they rose, she prepared the cinnamon butter that would accompany the rolls, mixing together. 1/2 cup unsalted butter, softened. 1/4 cup powdered sugar. 1 teaspoon cinnamon. A pinch of salt. The combination of butter and cinnamon filled the kitchens with an irresistible aroma, and Sarah couldn't resist tasting a small spoonful. The sweetness was delightful, and she imagined how it would complement the rolls perfectly. After the second rise, the rolls had doubled in size and were ready for the oven. Sarah preheated it to 350 degrees and brushed the tops of the rolls with melted butter to give them that golden, glossy finish. She carefully placed the dish in the oven, setting a timer for 15 minutes, and waited with bated breath as the kitchen filled with the scent of baking bread. When the timer finally beeped, Sarah opened the oven door to reveal a tray of perfectly golden rolls, their tops slightly crusty, yet soft to the touch. She could hardly wait to pull them out. After letting them cool for a few minutes, she brushed them again with melted butter, allowing it to soak into the warm rolls. As she set the table, Sarah felt a wave of satisfaction wash over her. The rolls were not just a dish, they were a celebration of family, tradition, and love. She placed the warm rolls in a basket lined with a cloth, alongside the cinnamon butter, and admired her creation. With each roll, she could already envision the smiles and happy chatter that would soon fill the room. Gathering her family around the table, Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment. As they broke bread together, sharing stories and laughter, she knew that these Texas Roadhouse dinner rolls would become a cherished part of their gatherings, just as they had been in her childhood. Each bite was a reminder of home, warmth, and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones.